Today we have some hype again. Welcome to the Solemn YuGiOh channel where we discuss everything collecting and investing in Yu-Gi-Oh! So we have some more massive Yu-Gi-Oh! Sales, and so of course we need to go over them. First of all, we had this beautiful Change of Heart MRD First Edition PSA 10 sell for $4,800. That is wild, but it is, in my opinion, the prettiest or the second prettiest Magic card this game knows. Basically tied with Monster Reborn. I'm not sure which one I prefer. One day I might wake up and say, oh, this one's prettier, and the next one I may be, oh, this one might be prettier. So, both of them are winners in my heart. We're noticing a lot of the lower end stuff is starting to kind of cool down. We're no longer seeing many all-time highs in the shit tier cards. PWCC auctions are consistently being more and more filled with junk cards. Just Unlim, PSA 6, all of this weird shit, Asian English, just cards that 99% of people really don't fucking want. And then a few gems, you know, so PSA 10 DDS, this, that. Everything else is just, you know, just not exciting. The amount of cards I was watching in January, December, November, October was way higher than right now. And you also notice that the cert numbers in these big batches are increasingly newer. So what I believe is happening is that supply of junk, quote unquote, is hitting the market, and the market isn't willing to absorb it. So while we see lows on all of this junk, we still see these types of cards doing great. You know, this is a big all-time high for Change of Heart right here. And we'll have a few more cards here that are hitting all-time highs. All the God tier cards are still doing well, except for one, and we'll get to that. While everything else is really not. And that's important. That's basically what this channel is about. That's what I've been warning about. If we check out my super sciencey graph that I posted in the Discord, it's the Yu-Gi-Oh! Investing and Collecting Discord, I posted this graph. And I know it looks awful. You know, it's solemn, super sciencey Yu-Gi-Oh! Price prediction chart. I predict everything to kind of peak and, you know, correct down a little. I didn't say when, because I don't know. No one can predict when, but you can kind of use your analysis of somewhat fundamentals or whatever you want to call it to predict at least where things are headed. And so I figured everything would slightly correct down, but from there you would have a K-shaped recovery. And what this means is that certain things recover really well and go way up, while others just, you know, follow the other leg of the K. And so that's kind of what this little graph is showing right here. So in my opinion, first NA of the highest tiers, you know, we're talking the PSA 10s of the best sets, the cards everyone wants and so forth. I do think everything will kind of cool off, but then I do think those cards will end up winning long term. And then you notice first E and first A, so European and Australian, also cooling off and also doing a bit better, but not as good as the truly wanted God tier cards. It's just that they're still pretty rare, they're just not as wanted. But then you have your Unlim. You have your Asian English LOB. Not all Asian English, by the way, but you know, the Asian English that most people know isn't all that rare. All of those cards, in my opinion, won't recover. In my opinion, once we have a bear market, quote unquote, and then after that we have a level of recovery on the high-end stuff, I do not think that lower tier stuff will recover together with the high tier stuff. And that is essentially what a K-shaped recovery can look like. So that was my assumption, and we're kind of starting to see that play out. Now, not fully yet, but I do think it's pretty important to watch out with that. Again, when everything is going up, when you're in a bull market, anything will go up, anything will go. You can be a genius with literally anything. Same thing in crypto right now. Oh, you bought Shiba? Oh, you bought Kummies? You bought Moon? At first, you were a genius. And then these, you know, shit tier projects gradually just go down. Now, sure, some of them might have decent teams and decent fundamentals and so forth, but you know, 99% of the crypto space will probably not do well, while some of them will do extremely well long term. Short term, when everything is still bull running, sure, everything will do fine. But you want to make sure that you're part of the right side of history when all of that plays out. So that's basically what this graph is. Obviously, it looks like shit. This was just a really quick and dirty way. Whenever someone would ask a question, go here, my super sciencey prediction chart. So that's just creating some context, because while we see all-time highs in this video, like this change of heart, there's a lot of cards actually doing really shit right now. So then next up, we had a Dark Magician LOB PSA 8 first edition go for $2,297. I don't know if this is exactly all-time high, but I do know this is still high. This is still just showing strength in the LOB first edition trade. Next up, we had this weird card. We had a Exarian Universe from Dark Revelation 4 going for apparently $1,500. I know this is a strong GOAT card, but I don't know enough about its price history to say if this price makes any sense. And some people are even saying, oh, it's not part of GOAT because it came out in the Stin, blah, blah, blah. Sure, whatever. I just wanted to give you the data and enjoy it. Then we had a Dark Magician Girl, near mint to excellent. Just assume that means excellent. For $2,000. So that's pretty strong. We already know that usually near mint Dark Magician Girls go anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000. So an excellent at 2K, you know, again, shows strength in a very high tier card. Next, we had Exodia LOB first edition BGS 9 wavy for $4,700. This is interesting because BGS hasn't been doing all that hot, but then the wavy 9s still went for $4,700, so that's strong. Then we had a other Exodia piece, a PSA 9 wavy for $4,000. Usually we see the opposite, but here we see the BGS 9 going for more. I don't remember how many days was between it, but not many. Like maybe a week, maybe less. You know, sometimes people interpret a certain price and think, oh, that means the market is going this way right now. Not necessarily. If there's an auction of a card in Australia, I will be way less likely to bid on it than an auction in the Netherlands. Because I know I'm not gonna get fucked by import tax. I'll have the card quickly. I'll gladly pay a little more on the card from the Netherlands. And the auction might also end while I'm awake. So there's these buyer pools, you know, in Asia, Australia, America, Europe, that all are awake at different times, sometimes have different versions of eBay, whether you have international eBay or just the one from your continent open, or just don't want to deal with all the other taxes. So it's very important to realize that depending on when it's posted, how it's titled, where it's from, you might have some difference in price. Also, again, auctions, you're kind of just betting that people will see it. Whereas if you put up a buy it now, sure, it might be slower, but you're more likely to get the price that you actually wanted. And this is something that not many people realize because we've been very spoiled. You know, the past months, everything's been up, up, up. There wasn't enough supply, so everyone was just bidding on everything all the time. Usually auctions end lower than buy it nows in normal collectible markets. It's just because of all the hype that we've been seeing that auctions became this crazy thing. It's very possible that once everything opens up, auctions will tend to be lower than their proper buy it now, slow, just trying to sell this card after a while type of things. Then we had a Flame Wingman first edition PSA 10 for $5,060. That's wild. I do like that card a lot. I actually prefer Flame Wingman over Shining Flare Wingman by quite a bit because this is the card that Jaden actually constantly used in the anime. The only problem is that you had that whole upper deck keep making fakes with the silver little thing fiasco, so that makes them seem less special. Next up, we had a Ghost Dark Magician from Ghost from the Past. I just wanted to include it for $1,500. Wow. That's a lot for a modern card. I already made a video on it. I agreed it needed to be higher than 400 given what Ra was going for, but 1,500, man, that's wild. Then we had a Morphing Jar, Tournament Pack 2, light play to moderate play for $1,800. Once again, the high tier cards, the cards that collectors are actually after, that are pretty fucking scarce, those are still doing great. Those are still, you know, beating all their all-time highs consistently. Meanwhile, Unlim and all of that lower stuff is kind of just I should really do a video about it with the PSA Pop Report and their price history with it. It paints a pretty interesting picture. Next up, we had a Japanese Ultimate Rare Blue Eyes go for $2,648. Once again, I'm not into OCG. I don't collect it, so I can't give you too much info on it. I just wanted to give you the data, and then you do with it whatever the hell you want. Next up, we had, and this one is actually interesting, we had a PSA 10 DDS Blue Eyes for $12,600. Remember what this card went through. We came from a 25k shill bit thing that didn't end up selling, everyone trying to sell at that price. Then we had a BGS 10 sell for like 18k, which again was way under what people thought it was. Then we saw those PSA 10s sell for around 16k. Once again, People are like, huh, what the hell? DDS isn't actually worth that much. Weird, because again, the pop is super high. And now a PSA 10 sells for 12,600. That is a big fall from grace. Now, I do have to say, this was an extremely weak 10. A lot of people were saying, oh, it's a weak 10, it's a weak 10. I checked the back. Yeah, the back looked like absolute shit. You can also see it's an older cert, so some people will say, oh, back then they were way easier. Sure, okay. But regardless, I just wanted to give you the facts. You know, we can't just cherry pick stuff. When everything is going up, we can't say, oh, clearly the market is just keeps on going up forever. And then when things go down, go, oh, no, it's because it was kind of weak. Like, nah, I'll give you all the data and then you can make your assumptions based on that. So DDS Blue Eyes, again, it was a weak one, but 12.6k. Then we had a Dark End Dragon PSA 9 Shonen Jump price card sell for $4,500. That's cool. Still a Shonen Jump price card. Again, not the rarest one of the bunch, but if you want to own a price card, this is a way to do it. To me, this was always Dark Armed Dragon's ugly little brother. But hey, if you want a full Shonen Jump set, you need this one as well. Finally, we had a Mirror Force MRD First Edition American English Faded for $3,800. This is once again an all-time high for this card. Once again, all the strong cards keep on beating all their all-time highs. Personally, I do prefer this card non-faded, but hey, there's some faded collectors out there who dig this look a lot. Hope you found it interesting. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.